Welcome back to World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition. My name, as always, is Maxwell, and I've got a couple of videos for you today. The first one is going to be the M2 medium tank on the mines with the little derp cannon, the mini derp cannon that is, and this is a pretty good game. I have a pretty all-round good game myself on this, but I make a couple of mistakes. And I could have done a hell of a lot better if I hadn't made those mistakes. So this is going to kind of be a learning experience. It's going to be kind of a you learn from my mistakes and try not to make the same mistake in the same kind of situation. And hopefully it'll help everybody have a better game. So when we get to that point, I'll tell you what I should have really done instead. And hopefully that will help you. So I'm going to be heading straight to the centre. I'm a fairly fast medium tank, and this being an encounter battle, a lot of people tend to overlook the usefulness of the hill in the centre. I'm going to let my allies go first. Of course, no idea where that shot hit, to be honest. It seemed like it exploded in thin air in front of him, but that second shot didn't. Went straight through and did 100 and some damage there, although I do get spotted out by my counterpart in another M2 medium. He doesn't have the derp cannon though, so I'm going to be able to out-duel him. Obviously just cut right in an effort to angle the front armour, not that the armour on this thing's any good anyway, but at this tier every little bit helps, and then put the rock between myself and the two enemies firing at me. I'm going to sneak forward here and try and get a shot on this T-57. Problem with him is, for an artillery piece, he's got pretty decent armour. Unfortunately, the derp cannon doesn't care for armour, and it's just able to plant one straight through him. Now I'm going to try and get a shot on this other M2 medium, which I am, and I'm able to take him out. I'm actually taking shots from the left-hand side there, so I switch my attention over. As you can see, there's a medium tank. There's two medium tanks over there. So I'm going to drop back a little bit, just in an effort to let my camo kick back in, so they don't know where I'm coming from. I derp a little bit on this rock here, just crash into it, not really realising how large it is. Put myself out there, spot the other M2 medium, put a good shot through his armour, and take off a good 3/4 of his hit points. He makes a run for it. I take that shot, and I shouldn't have, really. First mini mistakes kind of here against this medium 3. I take my shot way early. I'm just worried in case the medium 3 decides to move off, but as you see, he just sits stock still, and I really should have just waited till I'd fully loaded. Not that it really matters, because the second shot's able to take him out, and then this M2 medium from earlier advances forward. I try and take a shot at him. I would have hit him if I'd fired a fraction of a second later. I'm talking a millisecond later. As you see, the shot just cut it slightly in front of his turret as he sped past. Now, the first kind of mistake I make, apart from that mini one from earlier, is this here. This M2 medium's clearly not coming out anytime soon. He's dueling with somebody over there, so I really should have turned around and reasserted my presence on the hill. As you saw, a couple of enemy tanks appeared on the hill. Second mistake is I start running there instead of trying to have a shot first, and I get my track taken off and then fall down the hill a little bit with my track damaged. And then really what I should, and this is my final mistake, is this one here. I should have just carried on going. Although I'm taking shots from the right, he's not really going to be able to get too much damage on me, as he only has that little cannon. Wasted a shot there. As I should have just carried on going to the left and circled back around to the hill and used the terrain as cover. But what I do is I try and reverse back to stop these guys getting hits on me. I'm very unfortunate to miss that shot. If I'd hit that shot, probably would have survived this little onslaught here. As it is, I get a good bit of damage on him, but then he's able to take me out in the end, and that's the end of my game. Really, what I should have done is, as soon as I'd fallen down the hill, as soon as my track had been finished repairing, I should have carried on driving, waiting to see that S35 going, and just circled back around and used the hill as cover from those guys, and used the hill also as cover from the M2 medium on the right hand side. So they were the mistakes that I made, and that was what I should have done instead, and I hope that that helps you to not make the same mistakes that I make in the future. Hopefully we can go ahead and do that. Now, I think we've got this one in the bag, but I'm sat there watching it, just thinking to myself, don't throw it away. I've had a good game. You guys better not fuck this up for me. Because, like I said, I've had a good game and I don't want this one going to waste. But as it is, all they've got left is that artillery piece, and I didn't quite get a look at what they had. There we go. It's just an M2 medium. Just muting a player there because he's just insisting on breathing or making some kind of static noise down his microphone constantly. So I'm just going to watch this M2 medium for a bit because he's got the derp cannon as well, and he's going hunting the artillery. And our other medium tank is capturing the base. But their guy's moving in. As you see, our guy makes a huge mistake here. For some reason, puts himself out into the open where the enemy tank can fire at him and just reset the cap twice there. 3 times there, he's able to reset the cap. If our guy had just stayed in cover here and backed off a little bit and backed off a little bit more, he probably could have gotten a solo base capture off himself and gotten a shit ton of XP and credits. But as it is, he just decides to play very, very badly there for some reason. But our team comes out with a win in the end, which is good. And as you're going to see by the score screens coming up in a second, have a pretty good game. Now, like I said, I did make those 2 or 3 mistakes, the 2 big mistakes, and that's how I could have played it differently and had a much better game there. So not bad, almost 3,000 XP, decent amount of credits, almost 30,000, first class mastery badge, and as we see, they're top of the table for damage and experience, so all round, pretty fantastic game. So our next battle is going to be on Wide Park, and it's in the Hetzer. Again, I'm enjoying the Hetzer, although it's not a surprise. I knew I would like the Hetzer because it's for its tier, it's pretty well armoured. It can be pretty troll. If you haven't got a decent cannon at tier 4, then you're not going to penetrate this thing. If you're a tier 3 or down, you're going to have a hard time penetrating it as well. And the derp cannon on it is just ridiculous. The thing is just, it's all kinds of fun. As you can see, this is a tier 4 battle, so being top tier and having this cannon, it's going to be some fun. Now, this is a slow game, I won't lie. It's a slow burn. It kind of, it builds up, but I can talk tank destroyer tactics while the thing is unwinding. We've got a tank destroyer just suicide scouting directly across the middle for some reason. I'm not sure if patrol duty medals are in the Xbox 360 version, but if there is, he's going for it. He just wants to get in there and get a spot. As it is, he's been taken out, and that's not a surprise because I don't know what he was thinking he was going to achieve. It's not even like it's an artillery heavy game where we could have capitalised on that early information. So it looks like they've got a couple of tank destroyers coming down this flank, so I'm just keeping myself as far back as possible because distance is one of the best camouflages in this game. Fortunately, I set myself up in a little bit of a bad position here because the dip in the land just in front of me is making it difficult for me to get a shot. I think I'm going to have to back up if I want to try and get anything, or drive forward if I want to get anything on this T40, as he's quite far behind the terrain here. There are bushes in front of me, as you can see, so I'm probably going to be able to get forward, although I do get detected by something, so they've obviously got a scout in the area somewhere. So I'm just going to use this opportunity to drop back. There we go, take a big hit in the face. The one thing about the Hetzer is it doesn't have very many hit points. So I get smacked by that M3 Lee, but luckily somebody else hits him and he decides to run off. Me and him kind of have a bit of an epic standoff later. There's one mistake that I do make, which I'll point out, but to be honest, I made the mistake because I didn't trust in my team members, and after the fact you can kind of see that I probably shouldn't have trusted in them, and basically I'll explain when that comes up, but just using plenty of bushes and staying in a position where if I do get shot I can fall back. Get a 0 damage critical on that T40, which is very unfortunate, and I've been detected again, but I figure that anybody that can see me is probably going to fire at the Matilda instead, and indeed that does seem to be the case as he's getting a little bit pummeled, and I'm just going to wait for my camo to kick back in again. And I've chosen kind of a little bit of a selective position here. There's only a very narrow firing area that I can shoot at. Could see the underside of the M3 Lee under the train there, but again, because I'm firing HE rounds, they do take a more arced trajectory. Jesus, forgot how to speak there. Trajectory. So I was never going to hit that shot, so I probably shouldn't have taken it, to be honest. Just a waste of ammunition. And credits there. But I'm basically just waiting for this M3 Lee to make a mistake and come forward. And then hopefully I can pop one in his face. But I get distracted here by that medium and the artillery appearing on the left-hand side and just totally miss what I'd been waiting the last 2 minutes for, which is this M3 Lee making a rush. Luckily, I think our artillery hits the train car there and renders it see-through, and I'm able to get a shot underneath this train car and take his track out. But he is a smart M3 Lee. He's bought a repair kit, and he's going to get behind the building just in time, which is unfortunate because I would have been able to put a good chunk of damage on him if he'd stayed out and tracked in the open. Hadn't been quite so quick on the reflexes. But as it is, the game's pretty close at the moment, 7-6. I really feel like I haven't been too effective on this flank, although I am kind of what's standing between the enemy and just completely pushing through. I've got a couple of tank destroyers in the back here in this M3 Lee, and basically my idea is just to try and wait out this M3 Lee. Because we're both kind of tank destroyers, but he's got the rate of fire and the cannon to be able to out-duel me. So really my plan is just to sit on this flank until he makes a mistake. Now here, when I saw that medium tank coming in, what I should have done is I should have rushed with him, let him go around the right-hand side and me around the left-hand side. But I didn't, because I didn't trust that he was going to be a good enough player and understand what was going on. And as you can see, he just sits in front of the M3 Lee, doesn't pull the trigger and gets hit 3 times and killed. And for some reason, can't see the back of this Lee, even though I can clearly see it. I have a couple of shots here, and they both magically explode on thin air. So no idea what's going on with that. Maybe some messed up geometry on that building. But anyway, back to my point. If I trusted that guy, basically I would have rushed forward and gone to the left-hand side. He would have gone to the right-hand side, and that Lee would have been forced to face one of us, and then the other one would have been able to get damage on him. But like I said, that involved him seeing that I was coming and slowing down, because by the time I'd gotten 3/4 of the way there, he'd have already been dead. As we saw there, he died pretty damn quick, and that would have been me left with my pants around my ankles out in the middle of the open with nothing to do here. This Lee makes another run for it. Luckily I get a good hit through his side armor there, and I get a good chunk of damage on him. That really messes him up for the rest of his battle. But the game's going alright at the moment. We're only winning by 1 kill right now. But that's the only real mistake that I feel that I made in this game, apart from the terrible shots, was not going with that Panzer III earlier. Although, like I said, I didn't trust in his ability to comprehend and understand what was going on. Spot and Elector out on our side of the train tracks here. Let my reticule close in just long enough, and then I take him out, and that just leaves 1 enemy tank destroyer, and I'm pretty sure that's a Hetzer, and I'm pretty sure he's on my flank over here. I think I've got more health than him, so it's probably just going to be a question of finding each other and then punching each other in the face until one of us falls over. And I find him there, and I see him. He's only got the small cannon, so I know for a fact I've got enough hit points to take 1 hit from him, so I just sit behind the wall, wait for him to smash through, let him shoot, take my time, and then put one right through the front of him there. Now, I shot in that location there because if I hadn't killed him in a single shot, he would have been tracked, and I would have been able to jink left a little bit and go straight past him and try and lead him on to my allies or spin around and shoot him in the rear. But that's it. That's the Hetzer game. Like I said, just a slow and steady standard tank destroyer battle, as you see there. 2,500 XP, decent amount of silver, and we'll have a look at the scoreboard. And had a pretty damn good game there. I think I came top of the XP, yes I did, and top damage as well. So doing a good job. You can see even when you don't have a fantastic game in the Hetzer, you still have a good game in the Hetzer. So that's going to be it for this episode of World of Tanks Xbox 360 Edition. If you've got any specific requests for either a tank guide or just general tips and tactics, then just let me know in the comments section below. And don't forget to leave me a like if you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you're not already, then please hit that subscribe button, because there's a lot more content like this coming in the future. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks Xbox 360 Edition, and I will catch you guys next time.